Hello everybody, Payton here, and welcome to another First Impressions video, where I'm going to be talking to you a bit about a game I've been playing recently, and that game is none other than Warner Brothers' attempt at a platform fighter in the form of MultiVersus. Their media-spanning mega crossover that is honestly less like Smash in terms of what properties are featured in it, and more like Fortnite, because it's like cartoons to movies to comics. Like they kind of threw everything in the kitchen sink in this thing. But to back up for a second, a little bit about me. I love platform fighters. They are my favorite type of fighting game, hands down, and they're honestly one of my favorite types of video game overall. They are super enjoyable. I love the freedom of movement mixed with the complexity of combat in these games. They're great. And MultiVersus we've known about both officially for a while now, thanks to the ongoing tech tests, I believe they're called, but also unofficially, because this game got leaked way back around the same time that Nick All-Star Brawl got announced. And of course, with Smash Ultimate coming to an end, and you know how few platform fighters there were / still are on the market, there was a ton of excitement built up behind both of these games. But Nick All-Star Brawl has since come out, and, you know, the excitement around that has died down significantly just because people have their hands on it. But MultiVersus, there's still been so much interest in because of how secretive they've been with this game. Like, going as far as to have NDAs just to be able to play the tech test, so people couldn't really share their thoughts on it. But there's no NDA for this tech test number 3, and I just so happened to be included in it. And I'm going to come right out and say it. If you like platform fighters and you want one that has AAA quality behind it and is extremely polished and has a lot of care put into it, that is just all over the screen when you're playing, it speaks for itself, you should play this game whenever you get the chance to. It is that good. And a lot of why it is that, like, obvious, like, for me to recommend this just off of its polish can be seen as early as checking the settings menu. The amount of customization that this alpha, that this very early in development version of this game offers is incredible. You can tweak the UI to essentially anything you could possibly want. You can have the damage percentage up at the top of the screen, at the bottom of the screen, you can have it under your character. They let you change so much stuff. The color of the enemy team, your team, if you guys have colors, they let you tweak this game to exactly how you want it to be presented to you. And that is just settings. In the actual gameplay, one of the most popular examples of this game's polish that's been going around on Twitter is Velma. Whenever she crawls on the ground in a match, the screen will actually go blurry because she's looking for her glasses. And it's like, why would you bother to include that? Who on earth is ever even going to bother doing that? But it's here, it's in the game, and it's a great little touch. It fills MultiVersus with so much personality, which is exactly what I was honestly worried this game might be lacking. But no, it is here, and it is here in spades. And of course, this all carries over to general character animations as well. All the characters here are phenomenally presented. Like, the game as a whole has a very nice art style, and all the characters feel like themselves while adhering to the style of MultiVersus. And to, like, go back to the customization options for a minute, the fact that you can change your profile picture, the banner behind your character when you're going into battle, and the ring out effects in the game, it again just ties into everything else I've talked about. Art style and polish and just letting the player truly make this game their own. Which I'm very happy that I feel like this, because all of these customization options that I just listed are actually tied to this game's Battle Pass system. Because Multiverses isn't like Nick All-Star Brawl, where it's just a game that you go and you buy and that's it. There might be DLC for it, but you bought the game. This game's free to play, and it's going to be kind of, I suppose you'd call it a games as service model game, where it's going to be perpetually updated with new content, new characters and stuff, which is great from a casual player's point of view, because there's always going to be something new to look forward to in this game as long as they keep updating it. But I was just worried, because it is a free-to-play game, that there was going to be something intrusive about it, that there was going to be a very clear, hey, if you want to do this quickly, you gotta pay up some money so that you can just unlock this part of the game. And there's really not a lot like that outside of cosmetics. Like, if you want a certain, like, costume for your character and it's like at tier 45 of the pass, you just better get grinding unless you want to pay for it. But no, stages are all unlocked from the start. There's no modes that you have to pay for. There's no energy limit so that you don't have to, you know, only play so many matches an hour or anything. The only thing where you do have to grind to unlock stuff is with characters. I'm not sure what the exact count is, but they give you a good handful of characters unlocked from the start of booting up Multiverses. It's more than 6, I believe. But if you want some of the other characters that are locked, you're just going to have to keep playing matches until you get enough gold to pay to unlock them. And it's all in game and you can grind it out, but it is there, and hopefully it's not too much of an issue for people who really want to, you know, get into this game and not have to spend a ton on it. But to kind of backtrack for a second, let's actually finally talk about the characters in this game as well as the gameplay itself. And we're going to start with the characters because, to go back to what I said earlier with the Fortnite comparison, this game's roster, in the best way possible, feels like if you asked a little kid to just name a bunch of random characters they like and throw them into an arena against one another so he can watch them fight. It is so inspiredly random that I can't help but love it. From the literal meme version of Shaggy,
I've only used like 0.001% of my power so far,
to Arya Stark, who steals other characters' moves, to just Finn and Jake running around the stage. There is a lot of character variety and a lot of moveset variety on display here. Every single character does offer something that makes them stand out in, again, the best way possible. It feels very much so like they wanted to give this early version of the game, for, you know, how limited in scope it is compared to what I'm sure they want this game to become, the most variety possible in the fewest characters. And they knocked it out of the park. Everybody here fills their own distinct role, and all of them have something that makes me want to try them just that little bit more than I normally, you know, would care to for characters that I don't instantly click with, which is not an easy feat. And that also ties into the gameplay, which the gameplay here is probably, out of all platform fighters on the market, like Rivals of Aether and everything, the only one I haven't really played is like Rushdown Revolt. This game is probably the closest in Smash in terms of how it just feels from moment to moment. It's a little more hectic, a little more aerial based, I feel, but overall it's very close to Smash, with the biggest changes mechanically being that there's no shields, no grabs, and no ledges in this game. And there is a dodge everybody has, which works very well. It fills the gap of the shield quite easily. And you don't end up missing grabs because the gameplay is so chaotic most of the time. But the third thing, the lack of ledges, is actually replaced by all characters being able to wall jump infinitely. Like, if you can get against the wall of a stage, which almost all stages extend all the way down to the blast zone so that you can wall jump back up, you'll always make it back on stage, as long as nobody, of course, kills you while you're trying to get back up, or you can't even make it to the wall of the stage in the first place. Which is much more likely to happen here than in, say, Smash, because the main mode of this game is actually not 1v1, but 2v2. So you have 4 people in every match of the main mode of this game. This goes back to why it's so chaotic, like so much more chaotic in matches in this game, because constantly you and your teammate are fighting probably separate fights on either end of the stage, or 2 members of one team are ganging up on one of the other team while their teammate is trying to get back over to them. It's very funny, and it definitely lends this game its own vibe compared to any other platform fighter. There's not been another one with such a focus on teamwork, and lots of characters' moves will actually affect your teammate in positive ways. Like with Tom and Jerry, who are the main character that I've been playing and enjoying, you can use the fishing rod they have, and if you hit opponents with it, it'll obviously, you know, throw them up in the air so you can follow up and combo them, or you can actually throw it at your teammate and help them recover, which is a great feature. And every character has moves like this. Like in the very first trailer for this game, we saw that Bugs Bunny can dig tunnels, and then his teammate can actually use them to get across the stage quickly. And between these character-specific abilities and the fact that this game's main mode is 2v2, it helps cover up one of the only things I'm not a fan of with this game, and that is the volume of matches, which is to say, I think they're too quiet. This is the same problem that Neck All-Star Brawl kind of ran into, and I feel like this game's a little better with it, but it still has a bit of an issue. Like, matches just feel a touch too quiet. And again, I was actually in the second beta of this game, and I'll say it's improved since then, but the music in this game doesn't really get you ready to fight. It's mixed so quietly. Like, the characters' voice lines come out on top of everything else, which they're all well done, and there's so many specific ones for, like, specific random character team-ups, which is great, but it doesn't really change the fact that matches, in terms of, like, their sound effects even, just feel a little too quiet. But again, at least this is kind of helped by how much is going on at any given moment. There's never a moment where you can really fully let that fact sink in, because you're constantly doing something. Matches by nature, because you queue into them, and obviously the main mode of this game is fighting other people, you very rarely have a moment to just stand and, you know, admire, oh, this is how the sound design is, unless you're specifically looking for it. And speaking of fighting other people, I'm just gonna say this: if you want to play this game, you should really make sure you have an Ethernet cable. You need a wired connection, because I tried to play this without one and it did not work. I had to go buy a cable just so this game would be in a playable state. So keep that in mind if you're looking forward to trying this when it's released in, I believe it's June, it's coming out, so everybody can play it. And I'm excited for that, because I can tell, even from the last test I was in to this one, the skill of players has increased so much because of how many more people are in this tech test. So I'm excited to see what this game's going to be like when everybody can finally get their hands on it. And that should tell you just about everything you need to know about what I think of this game. It's great. It's unique from Smash, but similar enough that if you just like platform fighters, you'll be able to get into it fairly quickly. There's a lot of customization here, so you can really make this game an experience that's, you know, tailored to your tastes. There is a lot under the hood of this game that is going to be pried wide open when everybody can finally, you know, get a chance to play with it. And I look forward to that moment, and I look forward to the continued development of this game. So let me know what you think of MultiVersus if you're, you know, in the alpha test. Let me know which characters you like. Again, for me, it'd be Tom and Jerry with some Shaggy and Finn on the side. They're my main 3 picks right now. And let me know who you're looking forward to seeing join MultiVersus, because, my gosh, there's so many potential characters that I'm not even going to pretend to try to list them all. Again, just leave me a comment, and I will catch you guys later.